Hello, I'm Tommy Moore and welcome to the Bartitsu Lab. In this particular session we're going to be looking at types of fence and how the fence is used to keep yourself safe in physical confrontations, to put your body in an opportune position to defend yourself, to throw an attack or to make an escape or to make a grapple. So first thing, basic recap. The fence is, in martial arts circles, using your hands typically in a conversational or non-threatening way, but still maintain your body ready to strike, defend or grapple. Okay, and they have various different types and guises, and lots of different arts use different types of fence, and lots of types of individuals use lots of different types of fence. So I'm going to take you through some of the main ones now and what makes a good fence. So what makes a good fence? With all fences, what's important is that you're on balance, that your footwork is such a way that you are not weighted to one side, you're not unbalanced, you're ready to throw and strike effectively. We can't go around like this in a tight boxing guard, because again, this can make the fight happen. This keeps you safe and you're ready to strike, but essentially this is the last chance saloon. This is the fight has happened. Often there is a huge portion of that fight which is talking hands, which is social, because fighting is a social thing. It has context to it. It's not always life or death. It's not always one-on-one. There are a huge number of social variables that make up a fight. So typically you should be on balance and you should be using your hands in such a way that they don't trigger an immediate response, an immediate fighting response. If we're having a slightly heated discussion and then suddenly I'm here, we're probably going to fight. If we're having a heated discussion and I'm just doing what I'm doing now, I'm still ready to launch blows, but still I'm not looking too threatening, especially if CCTV is watching. So some of the common types of fence that we study in the Bartitsu Lab, but what they all have in common is they keep you balanced and they put some type of physical barrier between you and your opponent. You know, a lot of people take the electric fence analogy. If you touch my hand once, fine. If you touch it again, you know, it's something which you've invaded my space, you've encroached on my space, and I react vehemently. But the hands are there to be a barrier of sorts. So first, and one of the most common, is the capitulating fence. The capitulating fence is a fence of last resort, because often you're surprised. This is the kind of oh shit cover. So you're being attacked, you're being threatened, you're kind of cowering, okay? Now, the capitulating fence is something which doesn't offer huge amounts of opportunity. Because my hands are here, they're close to my face, you know, like a boxer's guard, but there's very little in the way of barrier. So bear in mind, often this is one of, oh shit. Sometimes your capitulating fence is a playoff from your original oh shit reaction, okay? So sometimes we deal with this, you know, we're backing off, our hands are up, our elbows are in, so it's exactly the same as a boxer's guard. We're here, we're talking scared, we're looking scared, but our body is ready, okay? So our capitulating fence is up here. No, sorry, don't hit me. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Notice my chin is down, my shoulders are up, so my head's solid, you know. Like a boxing stance, I can take a shot from here. Same with this. My elbows are in to cover my ribs, and my hands are up high, and if I want to smash out, I absolutely can. So the capitulating fence, make your body small, make your target small, contract yourself. You ever notice a cat, before it fucks you up, makes itself small? Other animals, they make themselves big for a show. Cats don't go in for show. If a cat's going to fuck you up, the cat goes small, then he fucks you up. Okay, so capitulating fence here. Elbows in, footwork balanced, head down, chin tucked, but ready to smash out with anything. Then you've got your conversational fence. So this one's a bit more mid-range, okay? So a conversational fence is essentially talking like an Italian person. It's making sure your hands are always matching what you're talking about. I think where a lot of arts go wrong is that they stand like this. Stay back. Doesn't really work, looks weird. It's basically a stance anyway. You need to get used to be able to talk in a fluid manner, you know? So again, making sure that sometimes, you know, you're moving your hands to match your speech. So if you're talking about something, you need to point. You know, if you need to touch your face. Make it as natural as humanly possible when you're using the conversational fence, and get used to just practicing the same way you shadow box. Talk and get used to moving your hands, okay? I know it sounds stupid, but shadow box your fences in the same way, yeah? Oh shit, to conversational. Important points about the conversational. Keep your hands in the frame. So within my shoulder space here, I keep my hands. I don't flare my hands outside the shoulder space. I keep them here because they need to attack straight down the line, and they need to defend my command center, my head. Okay, so we're talking here conversational fence, and it can extend. Hey, buddies, all right, yeah. Or it can be quite contracted. You know, no need to do that. It's all good. So get used to your conversational fence being able to go quite far to quite close. But again, keeping your elbows in, keep it nice and fluid. Typically, always make sure that your left hand is somewhere near the right hand of the opponent, because that's the thing you're likely to get hit with. So you keep this somewhere in the region of that elbow. Conversationally, you can always be ready to check and strike, to put your hand in the crux of that right elbow, bang, hit someone. So conversational fence, nice and fluid, stays within the shoulders, but making sure you're checking the punching arm and that it doesn't end up looking too fake, too rehearsed. You need to be able to get quite natural with the flow of it. Then we look at the disguised fence. Now this is more for doormen, security professionals. They tend to be big proponents of this. And essentially the disguised fence is positions of nonchalant awareness. Okay, so you get things like guarding the door. I'm standing at the door and I'm rubbing my chin because I've run out of fucks to give. So I'm there rubbing my chin, checking my watch, checking you. These are things where you disguise your state of readiness. So if I'm here, I don't look ready, but I am. I'm ready to defend, I'm ready to attack, ready to attack, ready to attack, ready to defend. So from the chin stroke, hands in pockets. Again, I can still get myself ready. I can still have a low fence here because my body's still primed. My chin's down, hands in the pockets. I'm still ready to strike. I'm still primed to strike. Things checking your watches, checking your inner pockets, getting your phone out, bang, it immediately turns into a shot. The disguised fence is a tricky play because it doesn't allow you as efficiently to strike as, say, a capitulating fence or a conversational fence. But sometimes it can cause massive damage just because of how unseen it is. It looks like a defensively weak position, but I can fire, this here and this here is basically one half of a boxing guard. If I angle myself a little bit, I am in a shell boxing guard. So again, just be ready for that. Conversational fences here, capitulation fences here, then you've got disguised fences, things like this. And finally, you've got your deterrent fences. Now, your deterrent fences are your stronger, more police-like deterrents. This is end of the line fence. This is typically where you've reached your maximum threshold of conversation before you need to strike. So, in a deterrent fence, I've hit as far back as I'm going to go. I've grounded myself solidly, and I've made it very clear that this is the end of the road. This is where the fence starts to flow into some degree of stance. I hate the word stance, but you get my motion. The conversational fence is quite fluid. The capitulating fence is quite fluid. The disguised fence is quite subtle. But the deterrence fence, fuck off. That is the end of the line, really, for a fence. This is the last point in which I can call it a fence before it becomes a fighting platform, a fighting stance. Typically, the deterrence fence comes with lots of vehemence. It comes with lots of strong words and strong actions and strong positioning, which I won't go into because it's embarrassing to shout at people in the garden, but you get the idea. So, conversational stays within the realm of the shoulders, is fluid, is natural. Try and check the right arm of your opponent. Capitulating, make your body small, like a cat. Keep your hands up here. Make sure you are convincingly scared, but make sure that your chin's down, your legs are ready, and you can strike out of it. Your disguised one, you have to be cool as a cucumber to pull these off, but again, make sure your body's ready. So, I'm not just rubbing my chin here. When I'm up, my shoulder's up, I'm guarding my chin with this hand, I'm guarding my body with this hand, and I can still fire a shot out. Make sure it's as combat ready as possible without looking unnatural. And your deterrent stance, which is the end of the line. This is the end of the line for this conversation. Any advances on this conversation, and it's going to turn physical. So that's very solid. Again, this is pretty much keeping the elbows in, keeping the hands on point, making sure your stance is pretty strong, pretty robust, a fighting platform, and you're giving people that final chance to let them know that you're not fucking around. This is the end of that particular set piece conversation. But again, make sure you match your deterrent stance with the right use of language, whether you need to dial it up, whether you need to be more calm and controlling, whether you need to just be a horrible, swearing, nasty bastard. You need to make that call. But the deterrent stance is, this is the end. This is the end of the conversation piece. Important things to notice, okay, with any fence-based system. Make it natural. The benefit of using the fence, deterrent stance aside, everything should hit you by surprise. You should think we're talking, and then I elbow you. You should think I'm capitulating, and then I smash you in the face with my palm. Its surprise allows it to work. So don't think of it like a stance. Think of it as very, very fluid. It's going to hit people by surprise. And that means that during my conversational stance, I might need to hit you from a strange angle. So as I'm talking, my hand might be out here, and it's at that juncture I hit you with the palm. The strike can come from anywhere. So don't just get used to striking from here. Get used to being able to strike from my conversation, my Italian conversation, ends up over here. I still need to be able to take this fist and hit you with it. So get used to being able to strike from wherever the hands are. That replicates what we do in Bartitsu with the notion of milling. The hands are in some degree of motion a lot of the time, because it's easier to get from 10 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour than 0 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour. It's the same with the fence.